Gen Z is the most purposeless generation, and it's actually scary. A Harvard Graduate School of Education did a survey on the mental health in America. They surveyed 396 teens ages 14 to 17 years old and 709 young adults ages 18 to 25 years old. And according to the survey, half of the young people reported that their mental health was negatively influenced by not knowing what to do with my life. And more than half, which is around 58%, reported experiencing little or no purpose or meaning in life in the previous month. This is a major reason why anxiety and depression and self-deleting is rising more and more, especially here in America. The problem is that most people think that purpose is something that you need to spend years trying to find. Like, you have to go on this whole adventure, you have to freaking leave your job, and you have to go in nature and freaking walk barefoot for years to find your purpose, when in reality that is not the case. In the past, I used to walk around aimless with no purpose. Bad habits dominated my life because of that. Then I realized that purpose is not something that you find, and I went from being purposeless to being purpose driven. I went from spending my days in degeneracy to spending my days in meaningful tasks. And I've simplified adding purpose in my life without complicating it like if it's some sort of puzzle that you have to break your brain trying to solve. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know why purpose is so essential to living a happy, fulfilling life, and you're also gonna know how you can start to add purpose in your life right now so that you can stop wasting years trying to find purpose and trying to treat it as if it's some extremely difficult mystery that needs to be solved. Napoleon Hill called the person who walks around with no purpose a drifter, and this is his definition of a drifter from his book Outwitting the Devil, which is one of my favorites, and I actually recommend you guys to go and read. I can best define the word drift by saying that people who think for themselves never drift, while those who do little or no thinking for themselves are drifters. A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind. A drifter is one who accepts whatever life throws in his way without making a protest or putting up a fight. He doesn't know what he wants from life and spends all of his time getting just that. The best way to know if you're drifting in life is to describe what a non-drifter is, a purpose-driven person. Here's the description of a non-drifter from his book Outwitting the Devil.
1. He is always engaged in doing something definite through some well-organized plan which is definite. He has a major goal in life to which he is always working, and many minor goals, all of which lead toward his central scheme. 2. The tone of his voice, the quickness of his step, the sparkle in his eyes, the quickness of his decisions clearly mark him as a person who knows exactly what he wants and is determined to get it, no matter how long it may take or what price he must pay. 3. Man, why is there a dog barking outside, bro? 3. If you ask him questions, he gives you direct answers and never falls back on evasions or resorts to subterfuge. 4. He extends many favors to others but accepts favors sparingly or not at all. 5. He will be found upfront whether he is playing a game or fighting a war. 6. If he does not know the answers, he will say so frankly. 7. He has a good memory, never offers an alibi for his shortcomings. 8. He never blames others for his mistakes, no matter if they deserve the blame. 9. He used to be known as a go-getter, but in modern times he is called a go-giver. You will find him running the biggest business in town, living on the best street, driving the best automobile, and making his presence felt wherever he happens to be. 10. He is an inspiration to all who come into contact with his mind.
And 11. The major distinguishing feature of the non-drifter is this: he has a mind of his own and uses it for all purposes. If most of these, but especially the first and the last one, do not apply to you, then you are a drifter. You have to understand a huge principle about us human beings. We are goal-striving human beings. We are not meant to be still. We're not meant to lay around and do nothing. We are meant to look forward to something and go in that direction. The moment we stay still and work towards nothing, we suffer entropy. We start to decay. One thing you have to understand about life and yourself, and when I realized this, it really opened my eyes, is that we're never not moving. We're always moving towards a direction. Even when we are purposeless and we're not doing anything with our lives, we're still moving. We're just not moving in the right direction. We are decaying. This is why most depressed people are people who have no definite goals in life. They're not working towards anything or don't look forward to work on anything, and because of that they stay still and purposeless, and eventually entropy kicks in and they start suffering depression and anxiety. Living an aimless life is like rowing a boat in the middle of the ocean without a destination. Without a clear goal, you drift with the current, wasting energy and getting nowhere. But with a clear direction, every stroke moves you forward. Without purpose, you're at the mercy of the tides, lost and unbalanced. This leaves you frustrated, depressed, and hopeless. We humans stand out compared to other species because we have something that they don't. We are gifted with something. We have a creative, imaginative mind. Animals are preset with goals the moment they are born, to self-preserve and to multiply. We humans are lucky because we are blessed with the ability to create as many different goals as we want. This is actually one of the ways that we can start to add purpose in our life. It's just like a self-aiming torpedo. The self-aiming torpedo has a purpose because it's moving towards something. The moment the self-aiming torpedo stays still and does nothing, it loses its purpose. Now, I'm not saying that doing nothing with your life means that you have no purpose in being here, but you will feel like you have no purpose being here. And that's why people suffer from depression when they're purposeless, and in some worst cases, they self-delete. Being purpose-driven is is extremely essential to living a happy and a fulfilling life. And not only that, but the way that you will look at hard times whenever they do come in your life, you will look at it from a different perspective. A perfect example of this is Viktor Frankl, the one who wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. He survived the worst treatment imaginable in the concentration camp during the Holocaust. He saw things that would haunt any human being for the rest of their life. But because he had purpose, he found meaning. He looked forward to finishing his book and seeing his family again. He also said that during the concentration camp, when he would be there with other, people, other inmates, he said that the first ones that would die were the ones who would lose purpose, the ones that felt like there was no meaning in their life anymore. One thing is for sure, there is no purposeless person walking on this earth right now who is happy and is fulfilled. And if they do say that they are, then they're probably just coping with their situation. And if you are that person who is purposeless, you don't gotta worry, because you're not gonna stay that same way. You don't have to stay that same way. And I'm gonna help you not stay that same way, because I went from being a purposeless person to being a purpose-driven person who looks forward to his days. You can become a non-drifter too. You can become a purpose-driven person. And I'm gonna show you guys how to do it right now. First thing we gotta do is lay the foundation, because if you act on all of the steps that I'm about to go over in this video, but you do not accept this fact, when the hard times come, you're gonna fall to believing that there is no purpose in life. Look, you are here for a reason. The very fact that you are watching this video right now and that you're living and breathing on this earth is already a 1 in a billion miracle. Out of all the sperm that came out of your dad's nutsacks, there was only one that made it to the end, and that was you. You succeeded and were giving life. And this isn't random. It's proof that you were meant to be here for a reason. This alone should give your life purpose and meaning, that your existence is not an accident. Even if your parents didn't plan on having you, maybe they accidentally had you, maybe your dad had a weak pullout game, but still, it's still proof that it happened for a reason, for you to be here. But to go even further, I want you to go back to a time in your life where you almost didn't make it, where you almost died but didn't. How are you still here? And why are you still here? It's for a reason. I remember when I was a young kid and I almost died from choking. Like, no joke, I was almost seconds away from not existing. Like, I was literally like losing consciousness, but luckily with the help of my dad, I ended up not dying and I'm still here. And I also remember one time when I was a young kid, when I got hit with a baseball bat straight at my dome. Like, I literally got hit with the bat. Next thing you know, everything goes black. Next thing you know, I'm in a car with my parents and my aunt holding my head with a bunch of paper towels with a bunch of like Bounty and stuff. And it's full of blood. Like, literally I'm leaking with blood all over my face and I'm losing consciousness slowly because I'm losing a lot of blood. But luckily I also survived that as well. In all of our lives, there is one moment or a couple of moments where we come close to dying, but we don't. And it's for a reason. Now, what if the key to being purpose-driven is to first embrace boredom? You see, most of us don't like the idea of being bored. While we are in the bathroom, we grab our phones. While we're waiting in line, we check our phones. While we are waiting for the bus or we're waiting for our food to come, we grab our phone and we start scrolling. Most of us do whatever to avoid boredom. And nowadays, it is more easier than ever to do that. And you might be asking yourself, well, how does this relate to purpose? Well, most people who are purposeless will try to make themselves feel better by distracting themselves and chasing constant dopamine. The problem with this is that it numbs the pain of being purposeless. And because of that, you'll never get any motivation to try to add purpose in your life, because you're making yourself feel better with the constant cheap dopamine. All of that cheap dopamine distracts you from taking the time to ask yourself, what do I want out of life? If you're constantly distracted, it's going to be hard to find purpose or direction in your life. So now the solution is pretty simple. Embrace boredom. When you stop drowning yourself in constant dopamine, you actually have a chance to slow down and focus. You have time to self-reflect and to ask yourself questions and get deeper to the answers. This actually helps you connect with your thoughts and figure out what actually matters to you. So spend a period of time alone in silence. No phone, no TV, no distractions whatsoever. While bored, you're gonna be faced with thoughts that you have been escaping for a long time. When this happens, whip out your journal and start writing them down and get deep with the questions that come up. And when you go deep with the questions, you're gonna find the answers that you're looking for. Now, what I'm about to go over is something that you can start to do right now. Like, literally after you're done watching this video, you can start taking action on this immediately to start adding purpose in your life. Purpose can come from solving problems. And to be honest, most happy and fulfilled people are always solving problems. Writers write books to solve problems. Some solve personal development issues, so they write self-help books. Others solve entertainment problems, so they write interesting novels. Entrepreneurs build businesses to solve problems as well. Some create software to make things more easier, and some create supplement companies to help gym bros and girls meet their goals. Without a focus on a meaningful problem, it is much more easier to feel aimless and purposeless in life. Now, there are 4 pillars to what I call the fulfilled life: health, wealth, connections, and happiness. Focus on solving a problem that you have in one or more of those areas in life. This is going to give you the motivation in the direction that you have been looking for a long time. It could be your health and getting in better shape. It could be your wealth and learning more skills to improve your income. It could be your connections with family, friends, and romance and strengthening them. It could be your happiness and fulfillment and looking for work that is actually meaningful to you and is fulfilling, or strengthening your relationship with God. Look at what area you want to improve on. Look at that one area that you are the least satisfied with. Make it a plan that you're going to solve this problem in that area with a set of actions and start taking action right now. Now you're focusing on a meaningful problem that's going to give you purpose in your day-to-day life. Every single day you're going to wake up. Now you're going to look forward to something instead of not looking forward to anything and waking up dreading the day. Monks and high achievers follow a habit that is not only backed by science, but is also backed by the Bible. Like even God did this himself. It's a powerful habit that can change your life just like it changed mine. And it is waking up early before the sun rises. Waking up early before the sun rises gives you purpose because it makes you feel like you are doing something important that day. Just think about it. What is the main reason that people wake up early to begin with? It's because they're going to either go to work, or they have an appointment to meet, or they're just going to do something important that needs them to wake up early. If it were their choice, they would wake up at 12 p.m. or at 1 p.m. And that used to be me. I used to have a horrible sleep schedule. And back then when I had like no purpose, or when I felt like I had no purpose, I would wake up extremely late. Like I was not a morning person. I would wake up at 12 p.m., at 1 p.m. And by that time, my day was basically like halfway done. Like a quarter of it was already done and it was spent me sleeping. But now I wake up 6 hours earlier, and not only do I feel accomplished, but I also feel purpose driven. Even if you don't have important things to do in the morning, if you start to wake up early in the morning, you're gonna feel like you have purpose, because only purpose driven people, or only people who have things to do, will wake up early. And if you feel aimless and purposeless in life, you're gonna make yourself feel worse by waking up late. But don't do it so fast. Instead of going from waking up at 11 a.m. to all of a sudden waking up at 6 a.m., start by waking up 15 to 30 minutes earlier. So if you're waking up at 11 a.m. right now, start by waking up the next day at 10:30 or at 10:45. And then the next week, go back down another 15 to 30 minutes. Start waking up at 10 a.m. And then the next week, start going back down again until you get to your desired time. Whatever your desired time is, maybe it's 6 a.m., maybe it's 7 a.m., maybe it's 5 a.m., whatever that may be for you, start doing it slowly. Don't do it all of a sudden, because if you do it all of a sudden, you're not going to be consistent with it. And then when you start to wake up early, with that extra time that you now have because you start to wake up early, use that time to do something important, to get something important done. Read a book, journal, meditate, get a workout done. And when you do something like that, you're gonna feel like a sense of purpose and accomplishment early in the morning. You're gonna feel like a freaking beast. That's how I did it, and it helped me be consistent with my wake up time. And it has been years since I woke up late. Now let's talk about self-improvement. Self-improvement is looked at by some people as selfish, and there's even a group of people who actually don't even agree with self-improvement, because they think that you should just accept yourself the way you are. But the brutal reality is that if we were to follow that advice, we would all be ugly, fat, broke, lonely, unhappy, and unfulfilled. We would basically be stuck in the same spot. Now, I'm not saying to never accept yourself the way you are. You should definitely accept yourself the way you are, but there needs to be more context to it. We are all born with certain qualities that we cannot change, and those are things that you have to accept because you cannot change it. And if you don't know anything about self-improvement, then you know that you need to focus on the things that you can change instead of the things that you cannot change. But there's always room for improvement in other areas in life that we can change. If you have bad social skills, following the advice that you should just accept yourself the way you are is going to leave you stuck in the same spot. If you are in bad shape, this advice is going to leave you the same, out of shape and unhealthy. Instead of looking at self-improvement as something bad or selfish, reframe the way you look at it. Make it purposeful. Realize that improving your life will not only help you live a better, more fulfilling life, but can also help you change other people's lives as well. Not only will you inspire people when they see that you are changing and becoming a better person, but you can also help other people by giving them advice or tips on things that you have learned on your journey so far. You could get ripped and in shape not only to help yourself feel good and look good, but to also help others do the same. You can also improve your social skills not only to make friends and get a relationship, but also to help others get friends and get a relationship themselves, especially now where there's an epidemic of loneliness around the world. You can help people solve a problem in their life. You could literally start a YouTube channel and give tips and advice on what you have learned so far, give unique insights to help someone in any of those niches. To help someone else, you first need to help yourself. That's what makes self-improvement purposeful, because you can't help someone who is fat lose weight if you haven't lost weight yourself. When you improve yourself, not only to live a better life, but to also help others live better lives, it becomes purpose driven because it becomes bigger than just you. Self-improvement goes from being selfish to selfless. Now, the question that I'm about to give you is a question that you can answer right now and you can start to implement in your life that answer to give yourself purpose after you're done watching this video. Many people feel lost and aimless, not realizing that they may have something within them that can actually give them purpose in their life. So the question is this: what skills, abilities, or knowledge do you have that can help others? When you identify and use what you have to serve others, you create purpose in your life. I knew a girl who was very good at doing makeup. Like, she would do her makeup with ease. She didn't struggle at all. She would do it flawlessly. She didn't need no tutorial. And she was so good at doing makeup that other women would ask her to do their makeup for them. Like, whenever there would be special events, like a birthday party or a wedding or just some event that was special, she would do their makeup. And one day she was talking about how she wanted to do YouTube because, you know, she had got inspired from other women who had YouTube channels doing makeup, and she wanted to do the same thing. She wanted to teach others how to do makeup. She wanted to review products and, you know, eventually, you know, build a career out of that YouTube from doing makeup. She literally had her camera ready, all that. Like, she was prepared to just start the channel, but she never did it. I guess she just was too shy, or she just had limiting beliefs that stopped her from doing it. Right now, she continues to work a job that she hates, and if she would have asked herself this question, her answer would have been makeup. That's something that she was natural at doing, and she could have helped other people do with ease. She could have started doing YouTube a long time ago, and she could have built a following already by this point, and she could have actually built a career from doing that, like many other women are doing right now. Not only would she be doing something that she is good at by helping others not only feel good but look good, but she would also feel more fulfilled by doing something that she actually enjoys doing. If you answer this question, you can find what you can do to help other people. They literally have the music on outside right now and they're interrupting the video. They're literally ruining the vibe. If you're watching this video and you're struggling with purpose, start helping someone else. The best way to do it is to start helping someone with a solution that you have. We all have certain attributes, skills, abilities, or information that others don't have. So you can start by asking yourself, what is something that you are naturally good at? Or what is something that people often ask you to help them with? You might be good at socializing. You might just have natural aura. You might just have good social skills. You could start helping others become better socializers as well. Especially nowadays, like I said, when there's a rise of epidemic of loneliness, like, you can help people be less lonely by giving them tips and advice on how they could be better socializers because you're just natural at it. You might be a great artist. Like, so art is just something that's just natural to you. You could teach others how to do art as well. Nowadays, there's a niche for literally everything. Like, there's a niche with people wanting to learn more about that certain thing. I think a while ago I made a video where I mentioned that I found a YouTube channel that literally has millions of subscribers, and all they post is them mowing lawns, and they give advice and tips on how to mow a lawn and how to do the best work. Like, that's literally all the channel's about. And there are people who literally spend their time watching this type of content. There's a niche for everything, and if you have a solution to a problem that someone else may have right now, you could start giving tips out, and I guarantee there's a group of people in that niche that want to hear your advice. At the end of the day, one of the most fulfilling and purposeful things you can do is to be in service of others. So these are ways that you can start implementing right now that will add purpose and meaning in your life. Stop trying to find a sense of purpose and start creating this purpose. I guarantee that if you try all 6 of these, there's no way that you come out of it with no purpose. That's how much I believe they will help you. But there's one more thing that I didn't mention in this video. You can act on all of these things, but if you're not consistent, you'll fail every time. To be purpose driven, you need to be consistent. Check out the video that I made that should be linked up right here, or I'm gonna link it down below, where I explain why you struggle with consistency and how you can start to be consistent to achieve your goals and purpose. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. I'm out.